Hi everyone, welcome to this guest expert session. I have Jeanine Wilson here from J. Wilson Digital Studios. She's a Squarespace web designer, and I have her on so that we can discuss website mistakes. We'll be covering 5 website mistakes that are costing you clients. So welcome, Jeanine. Thank you so much for coming on. I'd love you to start by introducing yourself, really just tell us what you do and who your target audience is.
Hey Mahnaz, thank you so much for having me on today. It's really great to be here. So, as you mentioned, I am a Squarespace website designer, and I am super passionate about designing websites that are not only powerful and beautiful, but actually going to be really easy for my clients to use, even after, so they can, they're free to make updates and changes to the website themselves after I'm finished working on the site, because I always want them to feel confident and empowered updating the site, and like they have full autonomy over the website, so they can really make the most of that website in their business when it comes to attracting more of the clients they want to be working with, or say saving them time through different tech automations or things like that. And I love serving other female entrepreneurs. I love working with other women. I specialize in service-based businesses, so I tend to work the most with businesses who are focused, more on impact and really the ripple effect that can create, whether they are content writers or maybe they're photographers or coaches or consultants. So really could be anybody who is service based, but I really tend to gravitate towards those more towards the heart centered entrepreneurs the most.
Oh, I love that, Jeanine. I think we're totally aligned in that way. I think having that purpose-driven and impact business is something that really does start that ripple effect, like you said, helping more people to be able to help more people in that way. And websites are just such a key part of business. So I'd love to know how you got started. Why did sort of web designing speak to you? What's your background and why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I actually started my business right in the middle of the pandemic. I had been thinking about starting my business or starting my own business for quite some time. And when I first kind of, got started right when we were locked down, it was just like, things were already really crazy. So why don't we just add one more crazy thing to the mix? And well, I originally started doing many different kinds of projects just to see what I like. So I started off doing a little bit of copywriting. I was doing some social media management and some SEO as well. I decided to focus exclusively on websites, simply because I saw really how transformative they could be for my clients when it came to having a space online that they could feel confident about and that they were really proud to share, and that was really helping them put their best foot forward to their ideal clients. So because I saw how transformative websites could be, that was really why I decided to focus just on designing websites. And while I initially was, designing on many different platforms, I worked on platforms like WordPress and Wix and Kajabi. I decided to niche down to just Squarespace because it was just dead easy for my clients to use that after I was finished setting up the website. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm really passionate about making sure that my clients have full autonomy over their website, that they are able to use it to easily make those updates and changes as necessary. And I just found that the Squarespace platform was the most user friendly of those platforms for allowing them to do that.
Great. So when somebody comes to you, I'm guessing that you have a huge sort of variety of different types of websites that you are creating, even given that, they're all purpose-driven or heart-led business owners. So can you talk me through maybe what kind of things are going on for your clients when they come to you, and what are the maybe the things that they've tried or failed at in terms of website? Is it the first website they come to you for? Is it down the line? What's kind of going on for them in their business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So for, I'd say for maybe about 70% of them, so the majority, they may already have a website in place that maybe they built themselves, way back when they were first getting started. And probably, their biggest problem is that the website is very outdated and it doesn't reflect where their business is now. So it's not really, it's not reflective of, say, their messaging or their branding or even their offers. And there's a little bit of a dissonance between how they represent themselves, say, on social media and how they represent themselves on their website. And the reason why this is a problem is because if you're, expressing yourself a certain way, say on Instagram, and somebody comes to your website to learn more and find out more, if your website is just completely different from, your style on Instagram, they're going to think, hold on, what's going on? Is this even like the same person? It's going to be very confusing for them. And, as we know, confused people don't make buying decisions. So it's really, really important to them and to me that that website is a true reflection of where their business is at the moment, that it's really giving them, an accurate portrayal to their ideal clients of what they can offer and why their support matters.
That's so important, isn't it? It's like having that consistency and that branding that you spend time and effort on. You want to carry it through in everything that you do. And I guess the point that you make is website is just another extension of your of you. Well, obviously it's owned by you, but it is still a visibility piece in terms of where people can land and find out more about you. Yeah, completely agree with that whole. You would wonder if that business even was a real sort of proper website as well, if it was completely different colors and all things. So you must put a lot of effort into making that kind of branding match and just making things look and feel aligned to who they like, the look and feel that they already have. Do you spend much time on that side with the branding? Do you just take what they have and on other platforms? How does that work?
So before I start working with my clients on the website, I will hand over to them a little questionnaire where they will, tell me what their brand colors are, what sort of overall vision they have in mind for their brand and the website. Obviously, if they already have, those branding elements in place, they can provide that to me. Or if, say, they're kind of, it's quite early days, if they don't have any brand colors, or if they're kind of, just like maybe a bit flexible, if maybe they've been using a few things here and there, but they just want to get, my opinion on what would look best for their website, I can come up with a color palette for their website, and then we can agree on that before we actually get started with the site. So we'll either make it completely cohesive what they already have going on, or if they don't already have something in place, I can create something new for them.
Right, great. That's such a good way to just sort of start with the basics, isn't it? Getting that all agreed. So in terms of people who might be even going down the DIY approach and they have their own website, you must come across lots of mistakes that people are making. Can you share the 5 web mistakes then that, as you say, are costing you clients?
Sure. So I'd say, first off, when someone first lands on your website, on your homepage, that initial page they're going to go onto, you want to make it, super clear to them that they are in the right place. So you don't want to have them, kind of scrolling around, wondering, okay, like, what does this person even do? Can they help me? So what you could do is, when someone first lands on your homepage, you don't, because what I see a lot of the time is people trying to get just like kind of too clever with, like, you first land on the page and there's just like, I don't know, maybe some like kind of cryptic text about what you do, but it's just like not super clear, or maybe it's just like a series of different words. But really, when someone first lands on your homepage, what you can do is tell them exactly what you do and who it's for, and ideally how you're different as well. And then have a really clear call to action button there to invite them to learn more about your services or maybe sign up for your lead magnet. So that way, they know that they're in the right spot. And you've also invited them to learn more about how you can work together or maybe become part of your audience.
Amazing. Yeah, love that. So if somebody already has a website, how can they really step into that as an outsider? Because when we look at something over and over again, we just often just see that, it looks okay. So how can we tell like whether we actually need to revamp or change or do anything to our website? Have you got any tips on that?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So, when you're thinking about your website, you want to think about it from your ideal client's perspective. So, um, if you think about like, if I was my ideal client, what sort of information would I need to know when I land on the website if I had never heard of myself before? And then you can kind of design the website with that in mind. So, thinking about it, like I was just saying, this one first sends on the website, you don't ask them for the consultation call right then and there because, while that would be great, if they booked one with you straight away, it's just kind of not the way it works. They need to get to know you a little bit first. And that's why you invite them to maybe check out your services page first. So you can kind of design the website with that in mind. And because, yeah, I agree with you. It is very hard to kind of get out of our own heads when it's our own website. I've experienced this myself with my own site, so I know exactly what you mean. You can maybe have maybe someone who isn't even part of the online business space, like your partner or maybe like your mother, have a look at your website and just think like, yeah, is this like clear to you, what I'm trying to do? So you always want to, think about the website from like the coldest audience who's coming to it. Yet want to make it as clear to them as possible, because obviously if it's clear to them, it's going to be clear to everybody else as well.
Yeah, I love that tip. That's really good. Just sort of borrow somebody for 10 minutes and get their initial thoughts as soon as they land on, what do they think? And I guess that really important question, is it clear what I do? Because that will either attract those people who are your clients or potential clients, and it will also tell those if maybe they thought you did something slightly different, to really tell them that no, this is actually what you do. So I love that. It's a great tip. So tell me about your journey and how you've sort of come to be doing this. What's your um, kind of reason for really niching into this area? And I know you're really passionate about helping women in business as well. How do your services just now tailor to what women are wanting out there, and in the small business world, as we know, it's ever growing. I think there's new businesses coming out left, right, and centre. So it's a great place to be in. But it'd be great to have some of your story and what experience you've had as well. Have you always worked as a small business owner?
No, I've not always been worked as a small business owner. So, prior to starting my own business a couple of years ago, I was actually in the corporate world. I had was very successful in recruitment for about 4 years, and in kind of a recruitment sales type of role. And while I was very good at that, it just wasn't ultimately very fulfilling for me. The hours were also very demanding. So I ideally wanted something where I could, have a bigger impact, work with people who I felt more aligned with, and also do a role I felt um, a bit more aligned and authentic with as well. I think sometimes when I was in like my previous corporate roles, because it was, very much about, making the sale kind of, no matter what you have to do. And that just didn't always feel right to me. I wanted to, see people who were, making decisions about, taking these roles because they were really like excited about doing it. And yeah, it just wasn't a great fit for me. at the time. So ideally wanted just work that I could, feel like I was making a genuine difference, and that I was actually really helping people and helping them move forward too. And that I was really kind of, looking out, that I was doing something for their best interest, instead of just like, trying to make the sale for the company. So that was kind of how I got, curious about, a different career path. And once I, kind of started working on websites, I saw how transformative they could be for my clients. I think, obviously everybody wants more leads. We're going to need leads for as long as we're in business, if we're a service-based business owner. And that's obviously, a big part of it, that they can feel like, somebody, they can send their website to someone, and that person looking at the website is really going to have a, a beautiful experience. They're going to get a sense of, what it's like to work with that person. And they're going to, hopefully come back to them and say like, yes, I do want to work with you. But I think, even more than that, it is the confidence that they feel when they have this space online, that, it's all their own. They can share it with their potential clients and be really proud to do that. And they just kind of feel like, okay, yes, like this, like aligns with who I am as a business owner and with like the level of business where I'm at. Yeah, it was actually like really touching, because one time after I finished someone's website, I was, doing their training call, and that I do at the end of every project, where I show my clients how to maintain and update the website themselves. Because like I mentioned, that's also, really important to me, making sure they have autonomy over their website. And yeah, she actually had tears in her eyes, that, she had this beautiful website, and that she felt like, okay, yes, like this is like my like face of the world, and this like represents who I am and what I do.
Oh, that must be such a great feeling to be able to see and hear about that, especially when your clients are just touched with the website. It's part of us, isn't it? It's part of our business, so it is super important to get that right. Well, as you know, Excel with Mahnaz is all about productivity and business strategy as well. So I'd love to know your perspective on how you think websites fit into, our being more productive in the workplace, and just anything you can share around that, because there's definitely a lot of common themes there I can see, but I'd love to know what you think from your perspective.
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think that your website can absolutely help you be a lot more productive. It can really help you bring everything together about your business all in one place. So instead of sending out, a million different links, you just have that one link to the website. So for example, you could add all of your lead magnets to the website. You could take payments for your services, or say if you have, paid events, you could do that through your website. And you could also say host or link like a course or a membership on the site, so that, someone can come to the website and they can sign up for your email list. They can make a payment to you, and they can, I think the biggest one is they can get all of your questions answered. So if you feel like, you're constantly in the DMs having, go back and forth answering people's questions, instead you can just send them to this website. They can still have, a personalized, beautiful experience on the site, because, you will have, because on the site you're talking not just about what you do, but really why your sport matters. So it's also selling for you, which is also helping you be more productive, but it's also going to answer all of their questions as well. So I always say, your website can be your sales and your time saving tool in your business, if you've set it up the proper way.
I love that. That is so good. Really great tips. I hope if anybody's listening is taking notes, and it's certainly something that, even if you have a website, after a while to just reflect on, and think, well, can I add any more questions in, and how can I help the people and add it to my website? Because as you say, that at least is a place that is fully owned by us, and we can be in control of it, and really share all the information that we want to put out there. So that's great. That's really valuable, and I hope it's helpful to anybody who's watching. So last but not least, how would you like to share like what kind of services you have, and if you've got any kind of free guides or anything that you can share with the listeners and they can find out more about you as well. I will drop the links in below this video anyway, but if you could just tell us what they are.
Yeah, sure, Mahnaz. So, for anybody who has been, listening today, and if you're maybe thinking that, you need to take another look at your own website, I do have a free training that I offer. It's called 3 Ways to Use Your Website to Attract More Ideal Clients and Free up more of your time. And in that training, we're going to go, really in depth about the different ways that, like I mentioned, you can use your website to be more of a sales and time-saving tool in your business, so that your website is actually working for you and it's helping you to be more productive. So we can, drop those links below. And if anybody, is thinking that you want some of this magic for your own website, that you want it to actually be an asset in your business and actually to help you move your business forward, then I would love to invite anybody who's listening to book a free website audit with me, where we will sit down on a call. I will first spend some time, getting to know your business and your goals and what you want to achieve with the website. And then I will give you 1 to 3 concrete changes that you can make to the website to optimize it to reach the goals that you've shared. It's always, no obligation conversation, but if I feel like we'd be a good fit and that I can help you, then I might bring out the possibility of us working together. So that's my 20-minute free website audit, and we'll drop the link to that in the description as well.
Fantastic. That sounds like a great idea. And sometimes we don't know how good our website is, and if there is really what's needed to be changed on it, if it's big changes or just small tweaks are enough. So it's great that you're able to do an audit, because that can really, it's like we were talking about before, when you look at your own website, you just can't see, you only see the same stuff and it just looks good, basically just the same to you, and you don't see any difference, or nothing stands out to you in being wrong or needing changed. But with you looking at it from an independent and a different kind of perspective first time, you really do look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. That's great. Thank you very much for joining us, Jeanine. Do you want to just cover the 5 steps, website mistakes, just to give a little quick recap on the...
Sure. Yeah. So 5 website mistakes were not immediately telling your website visitor that they're in the right place as soon as they land on the website. And second mistake is not including any like white space on your website. So, that kind of like negative space around the different like elements of the site. So we kind of want to, allow the different calls to action, the different images, the different pieces of text, some room to breathe. So that's the second mistake. Third mistake is if you're using too many loud colors on your website, or too many bright colors, we definitely want to go ahead and change that, because if everything's screaming for attention, nothing's asking for attention. So maybe what you could do instead is use maybe 3 to 4 colors on your website that have maybe just 1 or 2 like particularly bold or bright colors, and the other ones be a bit more neutral on your website. Fourth mistake is if you have too many, I call them like exits on your website. So, if we've got somebody on your website, we don't want to make it too easy for them to leave again, particularly when it comes to social media, because social media is just so noisy, it's so crowded on there, and if we've made the effort to get someone from social media to your website, that's considered a win. We want to keep them on your website for as long as possible so they can learn more about your offer. So instead of including your social media links at like the top of your website in the header or like navigation bar, instead you could put them in the footer. So then that way, if someone scrolled down to the bottom of your website, they've seen your offer and they have those links there to click on. And the final mistake is if your content on your website is overwhelming. So I see this a lot just with like big blocks of text, say like on your homepage, for example. We really want to make sure that whenever we're having text on the website, it's very like just short and to the point. Especially on your homepage, it should really only be, you know, a few sentences or maybe a paragraph or two max. But it should really, the whole purpose of your homepage should be just, you know, directing somebody towards that logical next step. So say you could have a paragraph about you on your homepage, and then there's a button there to take someone to the about page to actually, you know, get the full details. But that's what we really want to, you know, focus on, especially on the homepage. We don't want to overwhelm someone with large blocks of text. So if you have large pieces of text, especially on your homepage, see if you can condense any of that, or you could break it up with images, maybe bold the most important parts, just so it's a bit more skimmable.
Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people are just looking at website and really skimming them. That's such a, we don't really think about that. We just think everybody reads every word, and that's just so not true. Thank you so much for sharing everything, Jeanine. It's been lovely having you on, and I will pop all the links here. If you're watching to the end, that's great. Thank you so much, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get the updates for the next videos as they drop in. So take care, everyone.
Thanks, Mahnaz. Bye.